You know what's funny? If you had just kept on running, you'd be a free man right now. But you couldn't do that, could you? You just had to come back and try to get one over on Alexis. Like I said, you are a greedy man. And an ass. You are a greedy ass.
He isn't the first sex worker Michael has dated. He's not judgmental. He likes who he likes. You shouldn't shame him.
So Anna started off asking questions about Michael, and then she starts asking questions about you.
I'm not a suspect, Sonny. I was with Jack.
Well, I don't buy that, and if I don't buy that,
Anna won't buy it either.
Anna knows that you would kill for Michael. And so do I.
Thanks to your marital woes, it now falls to me to keep you from being convicted of the attempted murder of a sitting congressman.
All right, it might feel that way to you, Tracy, but I don't need you to save me, all right? I could take care of myself.
Well, this should be interesting.
Hello. Welcome to Port Misery, a GH podcast, where we try to figure out why everybody is so miserable in Port Charles this week. Hey y'all, it was a short week, so it's harder to find out why everyone was so miserable because ABC decided baseball was what we all needed to see. Like, did anyone even watch baseball? Like, to be honest, like the people who are home at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock, whatever time GH comes on in your area, if you're home, like at that time where you like, oh my God, I'm so glad to see baseball. Cause why? But like I said on like a short I did, I was gonna record anyway, just record the 2 episodes we were supposed to get 3, and then we got 2, but I'm here to recap them and say what happened. But so this is I will not be calling her that edition of Port Misery. Yes. And since I have so much space to elaborate on stuff, I will not go over the top. This is going to be a rather short episode. I do want to start off with like a few things that like I've been thinking about just because of how everything went down this week, both like on the show and not on the show, because there was no fucking show, because we only got 2 days. We literally got Monday, we got Friday. It's crazy decision making. And like, why are we interrupting the show when we don't need to? That's my question. Because like, I understand this idea that some people don't have Hulu, right? Not everybody has Hulu, and you shouldn't have to get it to watch the show, even though it does seem like that might be where we're headed. Like the Days of Our Lives, it's only on Peacock route, and I don't know what that means for the fucking budget of the show, because I've seen Days of Our Lives on Peacock, and okay. And I feel like they could easily just play things on abc.com. Like, I feel I could be super wrong. I could be super wrong and out of touch. I live in Los Angeles, so there's a great chance of that. And I feel like a good amount of people have access to the internet, perhaps, you know? And like, you could run the episode on abc.com if you just have to give the slot to the MLB for this week. Like, why don't you just put the episodes on there at 2 o'clock, run all the fucking ads? Like, if I'm watching on Hulu at 5 p.m. and paying Disney extra money to not watch ads, I don't have to watch ads because like I pay for that. But if you just want to give the episode to everybody for free because the MLB has decided to take over the fucking airwaves this week, then like, why can't you do that? Like, I'm just so confused about why we only got 2 episodes. It's so weird. It's not even like, because I know Beyond the Gates is like, they're in their freshman season, right? Like they just finished filming their first season like a few months ago. And so they had only filmed like 200 episodes, and the traditional like filming schedule is like 214 episodes to like make up for just regular interruptions that happen because of holidays or random stuff, you know. And so they didn't have enough episodes, so they just took 2 weeks off. And so like that sucks, but then they also just didn't have episodes to fill that 2 weeks with because of the situation. You're just not showing us episodes. Like, why are you doing that? Just show us the episodes. Like, everything's going so well right now. And the momentum comes from having all 5 episodes, because Monday was a rather slow episode. I've watched both. I haven't done my deep dive on Friday yet, but I've watched both. And like Friday was a lot more, I mean, that was kind of slow too, because like the show has kind of gotten this rhythm where it sets up a lot of stories in Monday and Tuesday. And then by like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're kind of like rolling into what we need to be rolling into. So kind of like capped the week with like 2 really slow episodes that were necessary. Like we got information. They were kind of like heavy, and like the dialogue was atrocious. I'm gonna get into it, but like we learned necessary stuff. They set up necessary stuff for like moving forward, and so I'm not mad at them. It's just like you can kind of see the setup of it all when you don't have the payoff in the same week. And so I just don't understand. Nathan Varney came on Twitter and he was like, this isn't gonna happen next year, which I don't even know how to take that. Like, is that a good thing that the MLB is not paying Disney to do shit like this? Does that not hurt their bottom line, which then hurts GH's bottom line? I don't understand. This is all outside of my expertise of knowledge. And so, yeah. The other thing I want to talk about, there's 2 more things. So the next thing I want to talk about is Erica Slezak not being Victoria Lord. It's not necessarily a bad thing, right? It's not like, because I am kind of the person that's like, I would have loved to see Victoria Lord versus Tracy Quartermaine, but then I'm also like, what would Victoria Lord be doing here? Like, was she like some newspaper magnate who's coming in some like Todd Manning shit to get some story about Drew being shot, and then she's just there like having conversations with people? We just have a lot of like fan service of like, you know, Tracy versus Victoria, or Sunny meeting Victoria Lord, or Laura meeting, like, you know, I don't really know how much we can mine from that, but it does sort of like cap off like, well, she goes back to Landview, which is why she doesn't stay. But like, we know that Erica Slezak is already done taping, so whatever they're doing, they're done. Like, it ends rather quickly. And so like, what is she? Who is she? And I don't care. Like, she is the person who I will not be calling that. I don't care about Veronica Bard. Like, I feel like it's so weird to like bring up stuff from like that predates Monica being on the show, because now you're taking things to like the 1960s. Like, you're telling me about shit from the 1960s? Like, and now I have to see, and it's hard to be on, you know, this woman's side because I don't know her, because Monica Bard's story is so far removed from Monica Quartermaine's story. Like, I don't care about single mom who works too hard and loves her kids and never stops, Victoria Lord. I would much rather prefer to see Victoria Lord, even though I think you could potentially mine more story with her not being Victoria Lord. But then like, she's leaving in 3 weeks. And so if she's leaving in 3 weeks, then like, why not fucking make her Victoria Lord? Unless they're trying to like, they just had her film for 3 weeks and they're just gonna like drag this out, and we don't see the 3-week taping for like months and months and months, which like, that terrifies me, to be honest. And so I kind of just want her to like do whatever she's gonna do it, and then go. And then we're like, oh my god, that was a moment. Goodbye, you know, not Victoria Lord. You know what I mean? I don't know. If you disagree, if you're like, no, I'm deeply interested in working class Victoria Lord, like with her sweater breaking into Crips, then let me know in the comments. Let me know what I'm missing. Because it could just be me being a hater, to be honest. That is definitely a possibility. And I'm not even like, I liked Vicky Lord on One Life to Live, you know, like, whatever. The final thing I want to talk about before we get into Monday's episode is the investigation of Drew. This investigation is not moving fast enough for me. Like, absolutely not. What are we doing to not drag this out for months and months and months? Like, I actually need to know who shot him before Willow and Michael's trial, like their custody trial. I need to know who did it. Even if Anna doesn't know who did it, I need to know who did it. Like, you cannot drag this out. If we've already guessed, just like admit defeat. Like, we figured it out. It's a good plot. We agree with it. We're looking forward to seeing it, come to fruition. Don't make it someone dumb. Don't make it someone that, now Drew has moral superiority over them because they shot him. I want him broken inside when he finds out who shot him. Like, at this point, make it, dead Monica. Make it like Monica, with the last of her strength, she went and shot Drew and then went peacefully to go be with Alan. Like, make it that. Make it fucking Willow. If it's Willow and we figured it out, just let it be Willow, to be honest. Do not make it Curtis. I do not want it to be Carly or Michael. And, like, the way that they're just, like, plotting through it, it's just so slow, right? Because, like, now we just have scenes of Anna Devane reconfirming that everyone's still a suspect. Like, everyone on the cast is still a suspect. Don't even trip about that. So you haven't ruled anyone out. Tracy's still a suspect, even though she found him. She still got to be a suspect, even though Anna doesn't think she did it. Sonny's somehow not a suspect, but, like, because you're salty to Pikeman, you can't take Carly off the list because she just has free reign around the Quartermaine mansion, clearly. Like, and then, like, the misreading of, like, what happened in the plot. Like, Nina and Willow weren't banging Drew at the same time. Nina had finished banging Drew long before Willow started banging him. Like, that's not the problem. The problem is that, like, the beef between Willow and Nina is so flimsy. They had to make it like, oh yeah, now she was banging him at the same time. Now they were banging him at the same time. Come on now. Don't do that. Don't rewrite the plot to drag out this investigation. Just tell us who shot him. He's not dead. It'd be one thing if he was dead and now we have to drag this out for a bit, but he's not dead. He's still running around town choosing evil, choosing delusion, and so we don't need to drag this out. We could just, like, figure out who did it. At least start ruling people out. And then, like, it's been 20 days apparently, because they locked Rick in the basement. Ava and Alexis and Christina locked Rick in the basement the night Drew got shot. And, like, Ava said that there's only 10 days left. We need to have him there. And that bond matured in 30 days. And so it's been 20 days. Anna, you should have had people knocked off this, like, suspect list by now. And so, yeah, those are my thoughts. Those are my random thoughts. I'm going to put timestamps if you just, like, girl, I don't care about any of this. Get to the recap. And so there are timestamps. I mean, if you already listened to this, like, you're 11 and a half minutes in. So if you didn't already see the timestamps, that's on you. But let me get into recapping Monday. Yeah, let's do Monday. So Monday, there's it's a lot of setup. Like I said, there's a lot of setup happening. Not a lot of plot, but a lot of setup. And I guess that's necessary. It's necessary to, like, set up where we're going. And so first we got to start with Law and Order Hospital. And so Anna finds out that Edward Quartermaine's gun was used to shoot Drew. And so she calls the horny DA. And this is some of the clumsiest lore dumping I have ever witnessed in my entire life. Because what are they talking about? Like, she was like, a dead man did it. No, Anna, be so fucking serious. You know that Edward has been dead since, like, 2012. You know this. And so you know that Edward didn't do it, even though I would love that shit. I put Edward Quartermaine and Lila, because they're going to be together, even though how they managed to stay together, even though she's in heaven and he's in hell, I have no idea. Don't think about it too hard. But they will be together shooting Drew. And I would love that. But that's not what happened, Anna. You know this. You know the guns are at the Quartermaine mansion, which means that someone with access to them guns is the person who shot Drew. But as we learned from working class Victoria Lord, everybody in town got access to these guns because the Quartermaines be leaving their doors open like it's the 1950s. Like, anybody could walk into that house at any time and just go pull one of these guns, these off-screen guns that I haven't seen because they have not been used since the 80s. Like, they could just get one of these guns. They have a cache of weapons, apparently. A cache. That's the wordage that Anna Devane used. A cache of fucking weapons. Okay. That's okay. But they got enough weapons to fund a small hunter for a month and a half. And so now everybody in town is a suspect because everybody in town live in the Quartermain mansion and everybody in town got access to these guns because as soon as she finds out that Kai and Trina is in the house, Trina live at the Quartermain mansion. She live above the garage. Like, it's needless to say, we do not learn anything from the cacophony of dialogue we have to sit through in Monday's episode because they don't rule out nary a person. Like, we think Alexis is ruled out, and then Anna's like, no, I can't rule her out. I just canceled that shit because I got the call about Edward's gun. Then we hear, like, Horny DA be like, well, we could rule out Carly because she got an excuse. She was a pikeman. And then Anna's like, no, pikeman ain't shit. So she's still on the list. She can get them guns. She sees her grandkids at the house. Do you think her grandkids play in the gun room, Anna? Is that what we saying? Like she visited her 2 small grandchildren in the room that the Quartermains keep their, in your words, cache of weapons? Okay. Obviously it means Michael's still a suspect. Tracy, like Anna does admit that Tracy probably would have made sure Drew was dead. Her confirmation shot would have been to the head, but she's still on the list. Curtis is somehow still on the list. Edward Quartermain Curtis wasn't even on the show when Edward Quartermain was on the show, but he's somehow still on the list because he's an ex-cop. And like I said, the Quartermain mansion is open like a 7-Eleven 24 hours. And so now he can get his hands on the cache of weapons. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're not taking people off the list. And we know, because we already know way more than Anna knows, right? So we know that more people should be on the fucking list. And so we're not removing people from the list. We're about to start adding people to the fucking list. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then they start saying things that are not true. Like I said in the intro section, Nina and Willow were not sleeping with Drew at the same time. Willow's just upset that Nina was sleeping with his ass at all. And she didn't tell her because she feels like if she had this information, that would have stopped her from making the terrible choices that she made because Willow doesn't know how to take responsibility for a goddamn thing in her life, which makes her annoying. It makes her annoying like her mother. And what Anna said is not what happened. Now, they could maybe clear it up when she finally has Nina say something of substance and not just like scream in her face for 5 minutes, or Willow, but like they have to make that as like Anna's just confused because that's not what happened. Right? Also, Drew is not a Quartermain. This whole like they'll cover up, shoot one of their own. The reason they don't care about his ass being shot is because they do not consider him a member of their family. And so he's not one of their own. And so what is this dialogue? Needless to say, Law and Order Hospital was annoying. It was annoying because it was just 5 minutes of the episode that nobody needed because like we learned nothing. The only thing we learned is that Edward Quartermain's gun was used and you could have dropped that in a different episode with none of the shit we had to see after it. And like even that took a second to get to because like Anna gets the call and then we don't see her ass for like 15 minutes and then she comes back to talk about this stuff that doesn't matter, that no one cares about. Okay, moving on. Let's go over to Delusional Hospital. So I am putting all of the Westbournes and their progeny in Delusional Hospital. Not only their progeny, but their guardians, their grandparents, their mother's living boyfriends. Everybody's going in Delusional Hospital because everybody is fucking delusional to be letting this child see this random fucking man wearing Nathan's skin and DNA. Because what are we doing here? Who is this man? I understand that this poor Charles and people just be coming back to life. Like Jason set the precedent twice. Bridges came back. People come back to life. Like Sonny came back to life. Carly came back to life. People waking up from comas. Michael got firebombed and shot in the head. He's hotter than he's ever been. Christina got blown up once, right? Like people be coming back. And y'all are always crazy to just be letting this man see this child. Are you crazy? But whatever. Also, I am calling this man Faison. Fake Nathan. Because I do not buy it. I do not buy it. He's cheesing like sinister all of a sudden. This is Faison. Alright. Who is this man? Who is he? We don't know him. But Willow is in with Faison, telling him that she is his niece, but not that she's beefing with Nina because she's a dumb bitch who ruined her own life and chooses to blame everyone but herself. Like, girl, why are you talking to this man? Why are you talking to this man? Cannot testify for you at your custody hearing. Be so fucking serious right now. Get out of here, Willow. She should not be allowed to work on his ass because she's family. Like, absolutely not. When's Willow gonna get fired? Hashtag fire Willow. Hashtag she should not be allowed to be around patients. That's fucking crazy. But Willow meets Faison. How long before he recruits her to start doing some sus ass shit? Because she seemed like she'd be down. She seemed like if it gets her kids back, she's down. She down to clown. Because she probably shot Drew in the back. So we know that she down for whatever. She was down to have Michael get fake drugged. She down to frame his ass. Like, so whatever Faison want to do, she is 100% down. She is in her down to clown era. And so they meet. Nina runs in because, you know, she called Willow, not Willow, she called Lisa and Britt. We're going to get to in a second. Let's just get Willow out the way because I'm sick of talking about her. So Nina ends up going up to Willow later and she's like, look, you know, Faison's back and I feel some type of way about that. I'm so happy for my aunt. She got her son back, her fake son. He's back. And so maybe we could let bygones be bygones. Willow's like, no, you ruined my life. You ruined my life. I'll never talk to you again. Willow is such a fucking ingrate. She is such an ingrate. Girl, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Nina tries to pull this like, well, you need me because we're each other's alibi. And Willow's like, no, you need me because you're a woman scorned. You were getting your back blown out and then you were tossed aside for me. And so that's the reason to shoot someone. Nina's like, bitch, that man ruined your life and caused you to lose your children. That's a lot worse than me being a lover scorned. Be so fucking serious. Like, oh my God, Willow is such an asshole. I need her face cracked. I need her face cracked again. All right. I know she got it cracked a few months ago. I need it re-cracked because she is deep in her like arrogant, ingrate era. And I need her ass humbled. I'm sick of her. But that's Willow. Goodbye, girl. We're sick of you. Nina, when she was in a better fucking part of Delusional Hospital, that was more interesting to me. She was like, she had called Lisa and Britt to tell them that Faison is alive. And of course, they are both being assholes before she could tell them. They both think that she called them to have some like reunion in the middle of the hospital. Be so fucking serious. Why is she calling y'all to have some like intervention and at the 10th floor nurses station? Why would she do that? She's just gonna do it in the middle of Britt's working day? Like, that's so funny. They're lucky that that's Nina and not me, because I would have been cussing them out before I told them about Faison. I would have been like, listen, I need y'all both to use your fucking heads for a second. This is not the place I would go to call a goddamn intervention for this family. Like, be so fucking serious. With that ingrate bitch over there being an ingrate, you two acting like crazy bitches. No, this is gonna be an inside the house intervention when it happens. But she tells them that Faison is alive. Now Lisa at first is like, okay girl, be so fucking serious. Britt looks worried. She looks like this is not news to her and that she is very worried. And so Nina tells her like, look, I saw him. I've talked to him. It's him. We got the DNA test. Like, it's him. It's him. So Lisa goes to see him. And of course, she freaks out when she sees that who she thinks is Nathan. You know, she's so happy. And Britt looks shook as fuck. Shook as fuck. And so y'all need to get the two of them in a room together real quick. I need to know who this man is because she does not look happy. She doesn't look surprised to see his ass, and she don't look happy to see his ass. In fact, Britt tries to get Liesl out of that room ASAP. She's just like, he's tired. He has a head injury. He needs to rest. We need to go do something. And Liesl has to like acquiesce because she a doctor. She knows it's true. And Britt trying to get her the fuck out the room. Liesl's like, so you're not gonna hug your brother? Your brother came back from the dead? You're not gonna hug his ass? So like Britt gotta hug his ass, and she looks even more shook. She just like, welcome back, goodbye, and gets Liesl out of there. They leave. Felicia, Spinelli, and James walk off the elevator because they're there to see Nathan, because earlier Spinelli and Felicia had told James that Nathan was alive. Now, James is immediately like, no, my dad is the angel in heaven. Clock it, James. Clock it. That's facing. James knows what's up, but they're just like, no, we were mistaken. That's your dad. You're going to go meet him. And as soon as Britt sees James, she looks even more shook. And let me say this right now. If she doesn't just tell people what time it is and lets this little boy get close to this man, knowing that he is facing, she is an ain't shit fucking asshole. She is an asshole, girl. Absolutely the fuck not. Absolutely the fuck not. Like, why are these people just going with this? I would be like, listen, you can see this child when you get a court order. When you get your alive papers that say you're alive, when you have a place, when you have a job, when you're stable, when you have an explanation to give this fucking kid, that's when you can see this kid. But you're not seeing this kid straight out the grave. Absolutely the fuck not. But everyone's like, well, it's Nathan. He's just like the old Nathan. He thinks it's 2018. We gotta let him see the kid. Be so fucking serious. Okay, but do you see why the Westbournes are now in delusional hospital? I was really struggling with like, where are we gonna put them? Because I didn't want to put them in Spy Hospital. I didn't want to keep them in Law and Order Hospital if Anna's gonna be back on the case. But they're all delusional as fuck, just choosing to believe that this is Nathan. So this delusional hospital, welcome. Drew and Willow got company now because we got more delusional people in Port Charles. The delusional people are just gonna populate Port Charles whether we want it or not. Right? It's gonna be there. And so let's go over to Christina's hospital. Queen delusion. Christina's hospital. So Christina and Molly go over to see Michael over at Monica's hospital to give their condolences for Monica and her passing. And of course, he's over there doing some mob hospital shit like his father before him. Michael has got random sex worker over at the Quartermain Mansion drinking tea. Like, what? And Molly and Christina are like, huh? Is that a sex worker? Like, what's going on? Christina pulls Michael immediately. She's like, bro, let me talk to you for a second. Come over here. And it's just like, bro, what the fuck is this? What's this? What's going on here? What's this here? Who that? You know who that is, right? That's the body shot random sex worker from Drew. Like, what we doing here? He's just like, well, we're just getting to know each other. Trust me, wink, wink. And she's like, all right, shenanigans are afoot. I don't know what's going on, but shenanigans are afoot. Molly is left with random sex worker, which seems like a mistake. And random sex worker is like, oh, well, Christina owns Charlie's. What do you do? And Molly's like, I'm a fucking prosecutor for the DA's office. What's good? And I mean, in a nicer, more Molly way, but Molly don't buy this shit at all. Molly like, why am I here? Why am I actually here though? What's going on? What's happening here? Christina's like, we should go because she knows shenanigans are afoot. right? She don't know what the shenanigans are. I don't think she's connected the dots yet that this is Michael's alibi, but she knows shenanigans are afoot and that Molly don't need to be around him at all because Molly is smarter than your average bear. And so Christina get her out of there. Christina gives Michael a hug, like, ooh, love you so much. And Molly is like, see you later, bruh, and leaves. And Michael knows what time it is. He's like, fuck. Like, sex worker know what time it is either. She's like, yeah, girl didn't buy that. She didn't buy that. And they kind of like do a little like recap of the events that just took place and why Michael got to do this on the day of his grandmother's funeral and how Monica would be so proud. Like, she'd be so proud that Michael got this random sex worker at her house on the day of her funeral, shoring up an alibi to keep him out of prison for shooting her husband's bastard son who she met when he was like 48 years old. To be like, it's so outlandish. It's so outlandish. I love when Mob Hospital rears its ugly head over at Monica's hospital because it's just so messy. It's so messy. Like, Michael was raised by mobsters and he will let you know every single time. And so Molly and Christina leave. They go over to Bobby's and Molly's like, so what the fuck was that? What was that? What just happened? Like, what did we just witness? And Christina is like, well, Michael dates sex workers. What you mean? Like, historically, he has dated sex workers. He don't judge people. He just likes to get to know people. Don't shame him for that. Because Christina knows about the shenanigans. She don't know what they are, but she knows shenanigans are afoot. Molly's like, listen, I ain't shaming nobody. Be so fucking serious. That was a setup because that's his alibi for shooting Drew. And now Christina knows what the shenanigans are. She's like, oh shit, I would have taken this a lot deeper if I knew that's what it was. But also, Christina, use your fucking brain. Like, use your head here. But whatever. That's them. That's the Christina portion of Christina's hospital. Let's go over to Alexis's house. So Ava, who apparently just has a fucking key to Alexis's house now. Like, she got the fucking security codes. Like, she's an official honorary Davis girl all of a sudden. It's so funny. It's so fucking funny. Julian is looking up from hell, just so proud right now. Like, Alexis and Ava having the relationship he always wanted them to have when he was alive, when he was living. It's so funny. But Ava is just in Alexis's basement monologuing to a not drugged Rick. And like, kudos to Rick for playing the drug. Like, oh, let me go. You gotta let me go. Ava just giving him a play-by-play of like the storylines taking place while he's been in the basement. She's like, so Drew got shot. Willow and half the town are a suspect. Nobody miss you. You ain't shit. This what happens when you try to leave me for Elizabeth. How fucking dare you? And Rick is just like, no, my God, no. And then she like puts more of these drugs in his mouth. Like, how many of these pills she give him? And why are they acting like they're horse tranquilizers? Like, what kind of pills did like Lucas give Ava? To be honest, like, I would assume he just gave her like some hospital version of Tylenol PM. But it's seeming like he was given the shit that they give you before you go under for surgery. Like, you know, 'cause he just be like, I'm out. And so she like makes him swallow the pill, but she doesn't really check. And so he's been like spitting the pills out and putting them under the mattress. So he immediately does that and tries to start breaking free. Alexis comes home to her new bestie Ava to tell her how Anna had canceled the meeting, and so she thinks she's not a suspect. We know she's still a suspect, right? We just know that Anna got new tea, and so now she want to go run up on the Qs before they find out and like click up. And so Alexis is telling her that. Ava's like, cool, because we don't need people, you know, running through here with Rick in the basement. Alexis is like, say less. Say less. They're about to become besties. Like I said, I need this to keep it rocking with Ava and Alexis. Ava has gone so long without having friends, but she is so fun and so funny. It doesn't mean she can't betray her friends. It would be nice if she had more friends to betray, so she's not constantly betraying Nina, and then Nina looks like a dumb bitch taking her back all the time, because it's never a equal side of betrayal. Like, it's just always Ava betraying Nina, which is hilarious to me because I hate Nina. But it would be fun to get some more people in there for Ava to betray. But Ava's like, cool, we just got 10 more days and then we can let his ass go. But what if he lokes up on us? To be honest, like, he could crash out. We do need to take that very seriously. Alexis like, no, he gonna be mad, but he gonna know that there's nothing he can do, because if he tells on us, then we're gonna tell on him. You know, if you snitch, we gonna snitch, and then we all gonna go to jail, and he don't want to go to jail, so he just gonna have to live with it. Wrong, because like, as soon as Ava leaves, Alexis is talking about Monica's will reading, so I guess she's the attorney for that. Rick gets out and immediately starts menacing at Alexis instead of doing anything else, to be honest, which is gonna be his fucking downfall, because, sir, why don't you just run out the house? Like, why don't you just run out the house? She's talking on the phone, why don't you just start screaming? Just start screaming to her secretary, like, it's me, Rick Lansing. Your boss has been keeping in the basement. She ain't shit. Like I said, run out the house, sneak out the house, wait for Alexis, go to the bathroom, sneak out the house, go to the PCPD. Like, there's so many things that Rick could do, but instead he's standing there menacing at her, thinking about ways to like run up on her ass and cuss her out instead of doing anything else. Like Ava said, that he is definitely down to crash out, and we gotta be ready for that. But Alexa's like, no. Okay, we're gonna see on Friday how this works out for Rick, and you know, why he should have just ran out the house or done anything else instead of what he's currently fucking doing. And so let's end it with Monica's hospital. So we were at Monica's hospital for a second with Michael and the sex worker, but Monica's hospital is really taking place in the Quartermaine crypt in this episode, because Monica's sister, who I will now be referring to as working class Vicky Lord, because I will not be calling her that other thing, breaks into the Quartermaine crypt to, quote, pay her respect. Girl, do you not know how a front door works? Like, I don't understand. Like, yes, Tracy was rude and I'm on her side, because why didn't you just come to the door? Like, why didn't you just come to the wake? You didn't have to go to the funeral. Like, if the service was private, you could just, like, you don't go to the service. But, like, why are you choosing to break onto someone's property? Like, and just because the gates opened, that does not give you carte blanche to just walk through these people's property. What are we talking about? Like, they can legally shoot you in America for being on their fucking property, because this country's insane. And so the fact that she just like, the gates were open, that's not how this works. Be so fucking serious, working class Victoria Lord. Why didn't you just come to the front door? There was a good chance you wouldn't even have saw Tracy if you had come to the front door. Other people were there to answer the door. You would have got Michael. You would have got Lulu. You would have got Portia, like Elizabeth, Dante. Like, you would have got way more. You would have got a lot of people who were going to be a lot less hostile to you. But you said, let me break onto these people's property and go run to the crib. So now you getting Tracy's verbal hands. I don't know what to tell you, girl. But Tracy is like, I know who you are. I had a background check run on Monica. This is not my first rodeo. Why are you here? And working class Victoria Lord is like, Monica wrote me a letter, so now I'm here. Girl, what are we talking about? What are we talking? She wrote you a letter. How you know about this funeral? Would she write you a letter from the grave? Like, this is my last letter because I plan on dying next Tuesday. What are we talking about? She said they were writing letters back and forth. Tracy is like, let me see the letters. And working class Victoria Lord is like deeply offended by this. Girl, really? You literally just showed up and broke into our house. And now you're offended that I want to see the letter. I don't need to fucking read these letters. I just want to see if it's Monica's handwriting. I don't need to read your precious letters. But what you're not about to do is just show up talking about we wrote letters to each other and expect me to hug you and let you in this family. Girl, who are you? Girl, this is Port Charles. Who are you? This is the energy I'm giving you in Port Charles when you break into my house and you just hear you like, what the fuck? And so working class Victoria Lord tries to read Tracy, but Tracy not having none of that. She's like, whatever, girl. I said what I said. Get the fuck out this house. And so she leaves and makes some like veiled threat about Tracy not being entitled to everything that she thinks she is. Couple of things. Tracy does not think that she's entitled to this house. Tracy thinks Michael should have it. So what are we talking about? Monica never talked about this woman. Unless that story that Jason was gonna tell us involves working class Victoria Lord, Monica never told anyone about this woman. And so why should they believe anything this woman has to say, especially without reading Monica's letters? So yes, girl, we actually do need to read your private letters, because who the fuck are you? And this is what I mean about Erika Slezak coming on not as Victoria Lord, because I'm just not going to automatically be on her side because Tracy was rude to her, because Tracy's rude to everybody. She's rude to people she likes. And so when she around people that she don't know who are trespassing on her property on the day of Monica's funeral, talking about she's working class Victoria Lord, their sisters, and she want to go meet Michael and them kids, girl, fuck you. No. Who the fuck are you? You're more delusional. You working class Victoria Lord, I'm gonna keep her at Monica's hospital because this is a Monica Quartermain story, but she honestly belongs in delusional hospital, because who the fuck are you? What are you talking about? What you mean you want to go meet this family? Girl, if you wanted to meet the family, you should have rang the doorbell. You didn't ring the doorbell. You chose to cop the fence. And so you don't get to meet anybody. What are we doing? And so that was Monday. Let me go watch Friday's episode so we can end this, since that's all that's left. Be right back. And we're back. And it's Friday. It's Friday because we didn't get Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday because of fucking baseball. Yes, but I'm not salty about that at all. So let's talk about Friday. So we have Law and Order Hospital, because this investigation is taking forever. Like, I guess Michael and Carly are the number one suspects now, number 1A and 1B for reasons. But Anna calls Carly into her office essentially to incriminate herself and Michael, and she does. Like, she totally does. Anna's just like, I think Michael did it. And Carly's like, nope. And Anna's like, you called him that night. What did you talk about? And she remembers that she told him that Willow's going back to Drew, which is like a perfect reason for him to go shoot Drew in the back 2 times. And she's just like, I don't know. I forgot. I talked to my son about so many things. I have no idea. Anna's like, bet. Okay. So you and Monica, like, how are you? No, what happens is that Carly tries to deflect. Right? She tries to deflect, like, why are you even doing this? Like, my son's grandmother just died. His beloved grandmother just died. Like, why are you even, like, caring about this? Like, who cares? And I love that Carly always says that Drew deserved to get 2 bullets in the back any chance she gets. She's just like, I just want you to know I didn't do it. Michael didn't do it. Nobody I care about did it. But also, he had it coming. He had it coming all along. And so it's at that point that Anna's like, yeah, well, you know, I'm trying to be respectful of Monica's death. That's why I'm talking to you, because, like, we all knew that you shouldn't be at her fucking funeral after, like, your history with her. Carly's like, look, did I steal the woman's grandson? Yes. Did I bang all 3 of the men that she considers her sons? Yes. Was I just a complete menace to this woman for the last, like, 3 decades of her life? 100%. And I respected the hell out of her. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sad too. And Anna's like, okay, so like, obviously y'all have a lot in common just because, you know, you keep banging her sons. So you guys, you know, you run into each other a lot, or you did. Past tense. It's so hard to get used to with Monica because she was upstairs for so long. But Anna's like, so like you guys were at least chiller. Like you could go to the house to see your grandkids and your son, right? And Carly's like, yeah, I could go there. You know, Tracy wasn't cool with it, but like fuck her, right? And so Anna's like, cool, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And like lets her leave. And Carly's like, shit. She was way too happy when I left. Like, she wanted Anna exacerbated and like throwing her out of her office. Like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And Anna was like, oh my God, girl, thank you for that. Have a nice day. Have a blessed day. And like, Carly just knows she did something wrong. And so she leaves. She goes to Bobby's to see Sonny, who just immediately clocks that Anna is suspicious of her too. He's just like, so you were talking to Anna without a lawyer once more. Once more, you're going to Anna without a fucking lawyer, and you're telling her things, and you're telling her things about Michael, and then all of a sudden she starts asking questions about you. And Carly is so naive. She's just like, I am not a suspect. Like, I have an alibi. I was with Pikeman. And Sonny's like, yeah, I don't believe that. That means Anna doesn't believe that. Like, be so fucking serious, girl. And now she gets that she's a suspect too. Like, girl, be so fucking serious right now. But later on, Molly goes to Anna's office to like snitch on Michael, essentially. And then they have the same conversation that she had with the horny DA, except she's just like, well, now Carly and Michael are the number one suspects before they somehow become not the number one suspects. Like, have Pikeman do some like deep fake AIs and just get them off the suspect list, because they didn't do it. Like, it's too boring if either of them did it. And like I said, it just justifies how Drew feels about each of them if they each did it. So like, no. But that's Law and Order Hospital. And so let's go over to Christina's hospital, the levity of this episode, because like, oh my God. Ava and Alexis are the duo Ava, Alexis, and Christina are like the trio I didn't know I need. Like, it's actually crazy. Like I said, get Ava more friends to betray so she's not just constantly betraying Nina, and we can have fun with this. But before we go to those two, Liz and Molly are at GH talking because Liz is giving Molly like hospital records for, you know, Law and Order Hospital business. And Liz is like, so have you heard from your dad? And Molly's like, no, he's on his detox. And Liz is like, yeah, but that's fucking weird. Like, you know, it's like so weird that he's just been MIA. And it's like super inconvenient because like everybody needs a fucking lawyer right now. And there's only like 2 in town. And one of them's a suspect in the murder. Well, there's 3, I guess. We gotta count Latino's son. And like one of them's a suspect. Well, no, there's 4 if we count Martin. So we got Alexis, Diane, Martin, Latino's son, and like Martin is Drew's attorney, so he's out for the count, but he's also Curtis's attorney. I'm not really sure what where Martin sits on the board of attorneys right now. Like, if we put like, here are the attorneys in play right now, and here's Rick over here in the basement. Like, he's not in play. Like, I don't know where Martin is, because like Latino's son is inadvertently on team fuck Drew until his dad tells him he can't be. And then like obviously Alexis and Diane, but Alexis is not even an attorney at play. We gotta put her down here actually. Like, she's also like on lockdown because she can't be. Okay, so it's Diane, Martin, and Latino's son. And Latino's son is representing Michael. Diane's representing Alexis. Martin, who the fuck knows? And then, like, who's Carly's attorney? Because if she can't be Michael's attorney, then she can't be Carly's attorney. The rules they set in place for Drew's shooting are so inconvenient for the amount of attorneys we have in town. But, you know, I don't even know who Carly's attorney would be. But yeah, that Rick, it's not convenient that Rick is in Alexis's basement and they think he's on a digital detox. That was my really long-winded way of saying that it really sucks as Elizabeth is saying, that Rick is MIA. And so Molly's like, well, like, do you think he would contact someone other than you or me if he was talking to someone? And uh Liz is kind of like, no, he would definitely call you first, girl. He would definitely call you first. Molly's like, maybe he called, or no, I think Liz brought up Ava, and Molly's like, no, she's not calling her ass. Fuck her. Like, he's done with her ass. But they all of a sudden Liz gets a call, and it's Alexis. So let's go over to Alexis. So Alexis is just like in her living room doing business. She's pouring herself tea. Like, she is so comfortable for a woman who has a man locked in her basement. Like, it's actually kind of disrespectful how unbothered she is about Rick being in the fucking basement. Like, so funny. And Rick is free. Rick is loose. And so she's like laid out on her couch after doing her little business. Rick immediately threatens her with the dagger that Helena used to kill her mother, the one that Julian put to her throat. How many of Alexis's exes are going to put that dagger to her throat? Like, is Sonny gonna put the dagger to her throat at some point? Does Ned get to do it? Like, how many Jerry Jack's gonna pop out of a closet and put it to her throat? Like, how many of her exes are gonna put this dagger to her throat? Because it's actually getting disrespectful at this point. He could have picked any fucking knife in her house, and he picked that one. Like, disrespectful AF. And also, Rick, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Just leave. Just leave. Ask for her car keys. Be like, bitch, I have a knife. Give me your car keys. I'm driving the fuck out of here. And, but no, he's got to do this whole song and dance where he's like cursing her and stuff. Nancy is trying so hard not to laugh. Like, she's trying so hard. She is fighting and not succeeding. She wants to laugh so bad because this is so outlandish. But he essentially decides that she's going to call Elizabeth above. Why the fuck are we calling Elizabeth? I would have went with the police at this point. Crash out. If you're going to crash out, Rick, crash the fuck out. Why are you calling Elizabeth for a ride? Alexis is even like, bitch, call a ride share. What are you talking about? You want me to call Elizabeth? But she calls Elizabeth. Right when Elizabeth picks up, Ava rocks up behind Rick, throws the hot tea in his face. Alexis hangs up. Essentially just texts Elizabeth like, oh my god, I butt dialed you. I would have just sweetened that and been like, sorry if you heard something crazy, I'm watching a movie. But Liz did hear Rick in the background, and she does call him later on in the episode. So like, Liz is on to them. She's on the case. But Ava threw the tea in his face. She just like beans him in the head again with a fucking tray this time instead of a paperweight. I guess they want to definitely make sure he's not dying, just stunned or some shit. But she like beats him in the head. Alexis is fucking gagged. She gagged. Ava gagged herself, to be honest. They're just both standing there gagged. And so they take him back downstairs. And they're like, how did he get out? And they realize that he hasn't been taking the sleeping pills. Rick, you could have done so many things. Like, you could have started screaming. I know they've implied that this is like some soundproof basement that Alexis had. But you could have tried that. You could have tried breaking out at any point and like leaving at night. Like, why didn't you try to leave at night? Why didn't you just like, and Ava brings this up, like, bruh, the only reason why you're still down here is because you're infinitely greedy. Like, you had to just pull one over on Alexis. You had to do like a boondoggle on her and call Elizabeth and do all this whack shit instead of just breaking free when you had the chance. You fucking idiot. But they like get his ass down there. They force him to like take the stupid pill that's like, I don't even know what it is. It's like the coma. Like I said, the medicine they give you before you take a surgery just knocks you the fuck out. Like, Lucas just giving people anything. But they give him that, and then they like, she handcuffs him to the bed because Ava just has handcuffs, and they ball gag him again. Couple of things. Why does Ava just have all this shit in her car? Like, why does she just have, Ava she is kind of a freak. Clearly, she's into some freaky deaky shit. That's all I'm saying. And she's on some like ready to be freaky at any point. Like, you ain't got to get ready if you stay ready. Like it's Ava. But they essentially, like I said, they handcuff him, they ball gag him, and then they just start fucking high-fiving each other. They're just like high-fiving each other, like, yeah, what the what? These two are comedy. Like, it's straight comedy. Like, you can't even, I don't even feel bad for Rick. Like, I'm happy they got it back in there because it's just now a comedy of errors. Like I said, we're in our late 80s, early 90s girl comedy hijinks era where we're like killing men or handcuffing them to beds and basements so we can like do shenanigans. It's so funny. And they're just literally like, you gotta stay there 10 more days. And Rick is just like, what the fuck? 10 more days. Alexis brings up the panic room. She's like, sorry, my basement isn't as like aesthetically pleasing as the panic room you had Carly in. They joke the level of not giving a fuck between Ava, Alexis, and Christina is hilarious. It's comedic gold. This is why I'm always like, GH is the best daytime comedy. Like, I don't know why they're constantly winning best drama. They're best comedy because they're just pure comedy. And speaking of comedy, let's go over to Delusional Hospital because all these people are so fucking delusional. Like, this insistence that we get this little boy in this room with this man who just reappeared from the dead is actually fucking crazy. And the fact that Britt's the only sane one in the room, and that's because she has tea that other people don't have, is actually fucking crazy. But like I said, Britt had got Liesl out that room, and as soon as they were like going to leave, here comes Felicia, Spinelli, and James. And so they're like, yeah, we're gonna have James go meet his dad. Britt is immediately like, nah, hey kid, like, go get some soda. She gives him her last $5. Like, here, this is all the money I have in the world, but you can have it just to like stop this meeting. And no one's picking up on this. Like, no one's I mean, obviously we don't even have more information. We just see her being sus, and we know that she's been at an Evil Sandals resort. So I guess that's the more information we have. But like, she's immediately like, you shouldn't just have this kid. Like, he thought his dad was dead for 7 years, and now you're just like, go meet him. Like, what the fuck? Like, you don't want to get like a child psychologist involved. Like, this is the most sane response to how we introduce this kid to this man, to be honest. And Liesl's like kind of looking at Britt like she's a stupid bitch for asking. And Britt has to be like, okay, can you stop thinking about Nathan for like 5 minutes and think about James? Like, this is so fucking weird. I just came back from the dead. Nathan just came back from the dead. His mom's in a coma. Like, someone get this kid some help. And so Spinelli and Felicia kind of agree, and they want to go find James and tell him, but it's too late. Like, it's too late because James already in the room. Like, none of that shit even mattered because James already busted into that room anyway. And so James goes to see Faison, and he brings him a soda. It's very cute. And also, I don't trust this man. Like, I don't want this cute scene if my heart's going to get broken and we find out this is Peter August with a Nathan mask on, doing some shenanigan, paying nurses to switch tests and say he's Nathan when he's not Nathan. I'm just not prepared for that. But I feel like that's a real possibility because that one nurse who was in there, she looks sus as fuck. I can't remember it. It's like the nurse who just came into his room that one day, and it seemed like they were just establishing shots of Nathan. But who is this bitch? Let me see if I can find the photo. I think it might be in one of my other episodes. But like, who is she? That seems sus. So like, we can switch tests. And like, the DBX goes deep. You can find out there's like a DBX member in every part of Port Charles in the off-screen extended universe switching tests and being sus. And so I don't trust this man. But they realize that James is already in with Faison, and Felicia and Liesl are all touched, like, oh my god, this is so adorable. He's meeting his dad. And Spinelli is jealous as hell. He's just like, all right, bet I'm just gonna go because, like, I guess I'm just a ride share now. I'm just like the dude watching this kid until his dad gets out the hospital. Okay. Felicia clocks it and she goes to make him feel better. Like, nah, bro, you still really important. Like, you the daddy's known, because, like, obviously Maxie and Spinelli didn't have some situation like Sonny and Carly where they were like, this your dad. Sonny's your dad. Like, no one else is your father. It's just Sonny. Like, they told him about Nathan. So, they kept his memory alive. And so it's hard for Spinelli, but, he's also like, look, it could just be me being jealous. That could be real. But also, I don't trust that man. I don't like this. This seems sus as fuck. And you know what? Clock it, Spinelli. Clock it, because I clocked it too. James started to clock it, but now he's in his little, oh my god, I love orange soda and he loves grape soda, like 7-year-old era, and Max is in a coma. And so we need more people clocking this. Obviously, Britt knows something. We got Spinelli clocking stuff. I need Felicia to be more on the up and up. I need Anna to kind of get back down here. I'm sick of hearing her investigate Drew's shooting, because who gives a fuck about who shot that man, to be honest. And also move this case along. But I guess it's the whole, like, we only got 2 episodes this week, so let me be a little bit more generous. But get Anna back over here so she can clock some shit. Says you got Nathan making weird smiles at people off screen. So let's go to Monica's hospital meets Mob Hospital. So we have Sonny meeting working class Vicky Lord. Another person in this big ABC soap universe who has never heard of the famous crime lord Sonny Corinthos. Okay. Sure. She's like a person who's from the real world, from the streets, but she ain't never heard of this crime lord who is always in the news. Okay, sure. But they meet. She's like, oh, I'm Monica's sister. Sonny's like, oh, I didn't know she had a sister, to be honest, but if I'm keeping it cute, we were not friends. Like, we got people in common, but, like, she did not like me. And working class Victoria Laura's like, bet I came to see her family because they're my family. Sonny's like, oh really? Because, like, my adopted son Michael is her grandson. And she's like, oh yes, I've heard of Michael. I really wanted to meet him, but I was thrown off the property by a stuck-up bitch. And Sonny, just without even her having to say the name, Sonny's just like, yeah, Tracy be like that. That's how she be. And they just start trashing Tracy together. I was not on Sonny's side with this because, Sonny, who is this woman? Who is this woman? You don't know her. You don't know her. You want to introduce your son to her? Who is she? You want your rich ass son who's already under investigation for a murder. You want her to meet him, and you don't know nothing about her. She just showed up. You just want her to meet him because y'all are in agreement that Tracy Quartermaine ain't shit. Okay, whatever. But he takes her to Bobby's. And she just starts opening up to this mobster like he's Diane Sawyer in 1998. She's like telling his ass everything. Just like, oh my God, all her regrets and her life and all the things. I was like, girl, you can't Google this man real quick. You can't just Google who you sitting with real quick. You sitting with, like, the Port Charles equivalent of, like, Al Capone. Like, you sitting with, like, Tony Soprano. And you just telling him your life business and how you want to, like, get to know his son. And okay. And then they have her saying things like, ooh, Bobby's is so nice. I've been to a lot of places, but it's not as nice as this. Bobby's is all right. Like, let's keep it cute. Like, this is just a weird way to name drop Carly. Like, ooh, I'm gonna have to tell Carly because that's my ex-wife. She owned the place. Okay. And so they're kikiing like this. And so working class Victoria Lord is like, I don't get why Monica didn't like you because, like, you seem real cool. Like, you really nice to me. He says, and I quote, she had her reasons. And that's all he said. Sonny, be so fucking serious right now. Her reasons? That's what you going with? She had her fucking reasons. Fuck this man being a whole ass crime lord, right? She should already know that. She should already know that this man is a criminal. But like, what happens when someone actually explains what Monica's reasons for not fucking with Sonny Corinthos actually are? Like, how are you gonna feel about this whole ass meet cute and lunch you had with this crime lord after you find out that the reasons that Monica Quartermain didn't fuck with Sonny Corinthos is that he murdered her son for absolutely no fucking reason because AJ Quartermain didn't kill Connie Falconeri. Ava did, remember? So he didn't even have to kill AJ. He shouldn't have done it, right? And that's after stealing her grandson and spending a whole, like, if we go by Soraz rules, like a whole 16 years convincing him that the Quartermains ain't shit and that they're not his family. Those were her reasons, working class Victoria Lord. And so it's very weird to me. Like, it's very weird to me that you haven't heard have this whole, like, lunch date with Sonny Corinthos, knowing the history between Sonny Corinthos and Monica Quartermain specifically. Because I could also add, like, even though I disagree that this is what happened, Monica believes that Sonny lured Jason into the mob, right? That's what she went to her fucking grave believing that. And so that's another thing. That's another fucking reason that Monica had to not fuck with this man. As far as she was concerned, he turned her beloved son into a fucking criminal. And then he got twice. He died twice on Monica. And so, okay, I guess this was a moment. It was cute, whatever. But Sonny ends up giving her the classic. Well, it's not even the classic. It's the modern. So the classic Sonny Corinthos is a good person story is the whole Stone thing, right? Like, people, he find out he's a criminal and they're like, oh my God, he's such a terrible person. And then you have someone bust out and talk about how he took care of Stone in his last months before he died of AIDS. And they're like, oh my God, he has a heart of gold, right? Well, now the news story is he took care of his wayward daddy in the last few months of his life. Oh my God, he has a heart of gold. And so she gets that story. And you know, he tells her how they made up and she's like, oh, I just never got the chance. Like, I never got the chance to make up with Monica. And Sonny essentially tells her that Monica wasn't worried about her. That she was fine. He was like, yeah, my son told me that she was pretty happy when she died. Like, she didn't have no regrets. She wasn't worried about nothing. She was good when she died. That's y'all essentially telling us that Monica wasn't worried about her ass. Monica wasn't sitting up at night like, ooh, I wish I could reconnect with working class Victoria Lord. She wasn't concerned with her ass. It's like, you should, I don't know. Like, this is why you shouldn't have her having a lunch with Sonny. This would have been a perfect chance for her to have a lunch with Jason. To run into Jason. But maybe they want Jason to be sus on her ass too. But also, I can't see them doing that. I can see Jason being like, okay, who are you? And then, like, give Spinelli or Brick to run a check, seeing that it's her, and then being like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, cool, who are you? Tell me about yourself. Tell me about Monica. I'll tell you what I know. Like, he seemed like he'd be cool. So, like, it could have been them meeting, and there'd be less weirdness. But whatever. I don't write this show. I don't write this show. But I thought it was weird that they essentially had Sonny say that, like, yeah, Monica wasn't worried about you, so don't even trip about that. Like, she wasn't trying to see you. Like, this is something you gotta, like, work out with yourself. I feel like Jason might have more inside knowledge. Like, Jason would have said, like, oh, she also wanted to see you too, but I'm glad I got to see you. Some shit like that, where Sonny just like, yeah, she won't worry. Don't even trip about that. Hilarious. Anyway, that's Sonny and working class Victoria Lord. We're gonna come back to her at the end. But Tracy and Michael is the other part of Monica's hospital meeting, mob hospital. Because, Michael mobbed up. And he moving like a mobster. Like, even his alibi is giving mobster. And Tracy is like, you are now my problem, and I gotta solve this. And essentially just reads Michael for having such a weak-ass alibi with random sex worker. She's just like, really? And she calls her a call girl, and Michael gotta correct her and be like, yeah, so that is not a PC way of talking to her. They like to go by sex worker. Tracy's like, bet, my bad. I don't like your alibi with random sex worker. Is that better? And he essentially is like, look, I don't need your help, nor your attitude. Okay? So don't worry about that shit. I didn't do it. So if she's like, I saw you at Drew's house, so don't play in my face. He's like, I'm not saying I wasn't at his house. I'm saying I didn't do it. I'm saying that, like, I realized that that's what he wanted me to do. He wanted me to go to his house, get in his face, put hands on him or something, shoot his ass if I have to, so he could do this. And so I'm not about to play his game. I'm not doing that. And so Tracy is like, this crazy, because, like, I can't tell if you're lying. To be honest, you seem real sincere, but I don't know. So I guess you are one of us. But to be honest, it's like his Quartermain blood mixing with his mob hospital upbringing. And that's what she's seeing. Because, like I said, he's very mobbed up in this whole storyline. Michael is like, I don't really understand why you care. To be honest. Like, if I go to jail, then that shores up Ned's position as CEO of ELQ, which will shore up Gio's position in his stead. Like, why are we even doing this? And Tracy's like, look, fuck Ned. Like, Ned fine being the chairman of the board or whatever the hell. He teamed up with Valentine, got his ass being CEO. He fine doing that. I owe Monica because every time she threw me out the house, she always let me come back in the house. And so I need to keep you out of jail to pay homage to Monica. I don't even care about you like that. And I told you I don't care about ELQ like that. Like, not anymore. Ned's fine the way he is. We're all fine. I'm doing this for Monica. Michael's like, thank you so much. Thank you for doing that. Even if it's not for me, for Monica. She's like, if you would like to thank me, just always let me live in this house. To be honest. Like, this is your house. She gives him once more. She's like, everything the light touches is yours. And so that's them. But the episode officially ends with working class Vicky Lord getting invited to Monica's will reading that we didn't get to see this week because of fucking baseball. Yes, that's right, baseball. I'm ending with it because fuck baseball. And I like baseball, but not enough to miss GH. Not enough. Why are we showing baseball games at 1 p.m., 2 p.m.? Why? Like, it doesn't even make sense. But that is the week. It was 2 days. If you like this, feel free to like and subscribe. If you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, give me 5 stars. Leave me a little review. If you're on Spotify specifically, leave me a little comment. I do read them. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Hopefully we get 5 days, and that would be nice. But thank you guys again. Bye.